at this hour. It's been 80 days since Hamas's first attack on Israel. Since then, nearly 21,000 Gazans have lost their lives in the conflict between Israel and Hamas. Let's get you a complete lowdown on the developments of the last 24 hours. At least 68 people were killed in an Israeli airstrike in central Gaza, according to Gazan health officials. 166 people have died across the Gaza Strip in the last 24 hours. Pope Francis, on the occasion of Christmas, has said our hearts are in Bethlehem today amid the ongoing Israel-Hamas war. Meanwhile, Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister, has said the Israeli forces are intensifying their operations against Hamas inside Gaza. The Israel Defense Forces have said 15 Israeli soldiers have been killed in Gaza since Friday, and over 20,000 Palestinians have been killed in the war in the Gaza Strip so far. Bombings and fighting have been reported in northern Gaza as Gaza health authorities and the Israeli military both announced mounting death tolls.
Dense smoke rose over Gaza on Sunday. Israel says it has achieved almost complete operational control over the northern part of the densely populated enclave. But residents and Palestinian media have reported bombings in parts of Jabalia and continued fighting. And meanwhile, the death toll continues to rise. A Gaza Health Ministry spokesperson said on Sunday that 166 Palestinians had been killed in the past 24 hours alone. More than 20,000 Palestinians have died in the past 11 weeks of fighting. Tens of thousands have been wounded, with many bodies believed to be trapped under the rubble. Israel has long urged residents to leave northern parts of Gaza, but its forces have also been bombarding targets in the center and the south. Palestinian medics in Rafah, on Gaza's border with Egypt, said an Israeli airstrike on a house had killed 2 people. In the southern city of Khan Yunis, the Palestinian Red Crescent reported an attack on one of its main bases. The Israeli military has expressed regret for civilian deaths, but blames Hamas for operating in densely populated areas or using civilians as human shields, an allegation the group denies. Israel's military also said 9 of its soldiers had been killed in the past day. That brings combat losses to 155 and marked one of the highest daily death tolls for Israeli forces in the ground assault so far.
אנחנו נמשיך להילחם עד לניצחון המוחלט על החמאס.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the war was exacting, quote, a very heavy cost from us, but that, quote, we have no choice but to continue fighting. Speaking at his weekly cabinet meeting, Netanyahu also dismissed reports that the U.S. had convinced Israel not to expand its military campaign. The Wall Street Journal reported on Saturday that U.S. President Joe Biden had persuaded Netanyahu not to attack the militant Hezbollah group in neighboring Lebanon out of concerns it might launch an attack on Israel.
ישראל היא מדינה ריבונית.
But Netanyahu said that Israel is, quote, a sovereign state and that its decisions in the war are not, quote, dictated by external pressures.
הן לא מוכתבות על ידי לחצים חיצוניים.
According to Gazan health officials, at least 70 people were killed in an Israeli airstrike in central Gaza on Sunday. The strike reportedly occurred in the Maghazi refugee camp east of Deir al-Balah. The 70 fatalities include at least 12 women and 7 children. The ongoing conflict has devastated parts of Gaza, resulting in the death of at least 20,400 Palestinians and displacing almost all of the territory's 2.3 million people. The war exacts a very heavy price from us, but we have no choice but to continue fighting. That's what the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said earlier. Remember, 15 Israeli soldiers too lost their lives over the weekend. During a weekly cabinet meeting, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu addressed false publications claiming that the US has prevented and is preventing Israel from carrying out operations in the region. Netanyahu has dismissed these claims, stating that Israel is a sovereign state and its decisions in the war are based on its own operational considerations.
Last night I spoke again with President Biden. I appreciate the US's firm stand in the Security Council, a stand that supports our war effort. I told President Biden yesterday that we will fight until a complete victory, however long it takes. The United States understands that. I have seen false publications claiming that the US prevented and is preventing us from operational operations in the region. This is not true. Israel is a sovereign state. Our decisions in the war are based on our operational considerations, and I will not elaborate on that. They are not dictated by external pressures.
The IDF released footage claiming to show an operation to dismantle Hamas's northern underground headquarters in Gaza. The video displayed a section of the tunnel lined with white tiles, a similarly designed bathroom featuring a basic shower, toilet and sink, and a workroom with a corner table and bench. One tunnel also revealed a drinking water dispenser and a pile of bullets. The IDF stated that 5 Israeli hostages previously killed in Hamas captivity were recovered from an underground tunnel network in the northern Gaza Strip. As the Red Sea crisis worsens, exporters face challenges in ensuring smooth goods transportation. Recent weeks have seen intensified Houthi militant attacks in Yemen, ostensibly in support of Hamas, aimed against Israel and its Gaza offensive. This has disrupted a key trade route connecting Europe and North America with Asia through the Suez Canal, posing a significant threat to global trade flows.
As the crisis in the Red Sea deepens, exporters are wondering how to get their goods to market. Iran-backed Houthi militants in Yemen have stepped up attacks on vessels in the area in recent weeks. That's to show support for Hamas during Israel's military offensive in Gaza. The attacks have disrupted a key trade route linking Europe and North America with Asia via the Suez Canal. It accounts for about 10% of global GDP. Now major shippers including Maersk are sending their vessels around South Africa instead, a safer but much longer route. That has exporters scrambling for alternative air, land or ocean options. One German freight firm said customers were looking at so-called intermodal routes. For example, ship part of the way, then plane for the final leg. But air cargo capacity is limited and it costs many times more than shipping by sea. Analysts at S&P Global say that leaves major retailers like Walmart and IKEA looking vulnerable to disruption. The crisis doesn't look set to ease anytime soon. On Wednesday, the leader of Yemen's Houthis warned that they would attack any US warships that attempted to intervene.
We will not stand idly by if the Americans attempted to escalate further and commit foolishness by targeting our country or waging war against it. Any American targeting of our country will be targeted by us. And we will make American warships, interests, and navigation a target for our missiles, drones, and military operations.
Washington has promised to establish an international naval task force to protect merchant vessels. But shipping firms say they are in the dark over when or how the force will operate. Meanwhile, they've started hiking fees for cargoes passing through the Red Sea area. United Nations trade expert Jan Hoffman says it all spells trouble for consumers, albeit not immediately.
So if you have systematically higher shipping costs for manufactured goods, the consumer goods that you and I buy in the shop, it takes many months to really translate into higher prices. But it will come.
The extent of the impact will depend on how long the disruption lasts. One US-based shipping firm told Reuters it was advising clients to prepare for at least 90 days of trouble.
Growing threat has prompted shipping companies to evade the Red Sea routes. Hebel Lloyd, a major German container line, has announced plans to reroute 25 ships by the year end due to escalating attacks by Houthi militants. Hong Kong's OOCL is also making a similar move. Here's a complete report.
More shipping companies are set to avoid the Red Sea following attacks on merchant vessels by Houthi militants. German container line Hapag-Lloyd is among the latest to say it will steer clear. 25 of its ships will be rerouted before the end of the year. Hong Kong's OOCL is making a similar move. Ships will have to take longer routes to avoid the hotspot, and that could roil supply chains worldwide. The Suez Canal route accounts for about 12% of global trade. Costs will jump too, with the price of shipping a container from China to the Mediterranean up 44% just this month. Experts say anything that is moved by sea, from toys to food and clothing, could be at risk. Concern over disruption to supplies is driving commodity prices higher too. Metals prices rose Friday, as did benchmark oil prices. Crude jumped around 1%, though traders say the impact on supplies should actually be limited. Relatively little oil is shipped through the Red Sea. Much now depends on the International Naval Task Force being set up by Washington. The Pentagon says over 20 countries have signed up to take part, though some did not want to be named. Vessels from the US, British and French navies have already shot down Houthi drones in the area. On Thursday, UK Foreign Minister David Cameron met his Egyptian counterpart to discuss the crisis.
It's absolutely essential that those maritime corridors, that the free movement of ships, of goods, of manufacturers, of oil, of world trade, that they keep going.
The crisis grew out of the war between Israel and Palestinian militant group Hamas, which runs Gaza. Yemen's Houthis have threatened to target all ships heading to Israel in response.
As Christmas is celebrated around the globe, Bethlehem streets, usually bustling, now echo with church bells, but the city in the Israeli-occupied West Bank remains deserted. Typically a focal point of the Christian narrative, Bethlehem is believed to be the birthplace of Jesus Christ.
This Christmas comes to Bethlehem in a different shape. Nowadays, Bethlehem, as any other Palestinian city, in mourning. We feel sad. So, in Bethlehem Municipal Council, we decided to cancel all festivities and celebration in Christmas season. So, we put this event in order to send a very clear message to the international community that Bethlehem rejects this aggression against our people in Gaza Strip. We are witnessing a genocide and ethnic cleansing in Gaza Strip.
Meanwhile, Pope Francis has expressed deep concern over the prevailing situation in the Holy Land, emphasizing that the profound message of peace conveyed by Jesus is being overshadowed by the futile logic of war.
Tonight, our hearts in Bethlehem, where the Prince of Peace is once more rejected by the futile logic of war, by the clash of arms that even today prevent him from finding room in the world. For God, who changed history in the course of census, you are not a number but a face. Your name is written on his heart. But if you look to your own heart and think of your own inadequacies and this world that is so judgmental and unforgiving, you may feel it difficult to celebrate this Christmas. You may think things are going badly or feel dissatisfied with your limitations, failings and problems. Brothers and sisters, tonight love changes history. Make us believe, Lord, in the power of your love, so different from the power of the world.
Time for us to take a quick break here on the show, but there's plenty more on the other side. Don't go away.
Bangalore traffic is an example of something that has gone wrong with our system.
We have more than 50 flyovers in Bangalore city. If flyover is a solution to traffic problem, Bangalore should not have traffic problem.
According to TomTom Traffic Index 2022, Bangalore is ranked as the second worst city in the world when it comes to traffic.
The speed limit at the ORR is 80 kilometers per hour, but our vehicle has only moved 10 kilometers per hour.
What Bangalore needs is a surgery, but what we have been offered repeatedly are band-aids.
Only on the world's first news OTT. News9 Plus, ahead of the curve.
Welcome back. Russia's invasion of Ukraine has led to tragedy and immense suffering, altering lives indefinitely. The conflict has also reshaped Christmas in the country, with at least one Ukrainian couple believing the change has brought about positive outcomes.
Russia's invasion of Ukraine brought tragedy and suffering, forever changing lives. It's also changed Christmas in the country, and at least one Ukrainian couple says the change is for the better. Lesia Shestakova was baking pastries for the festival earlier this week. She's a Catholic who has traditionally celebrated Christmas on December 25th. But her husband, Alexander, is an Orthodox Christian who has marked the festival on January 7th. This year, in an effort to distance the country from Russia and its Orthodox tradition, Ukraine passed a law making December 25th the official Christmas holiday. That means, for the first time, Lesia and Alexander will share a single Christmas together.
Нарешті в Україні з'явився день.
Lesia Shestakova told Reuters, quote, "There is finally a day in Ukraine which my husband and I can spend together in the cathedral and thank God that we are together, alive and in good health. Our families will celebrate together too." On Sunday, they jointly attended the Catholic Cathedral of St. Alexander in Kyiv. Since Moscow's February 2022 attack, many Ukrainians have rejected the Russian language and culture, among other historical ties to Kyiv's former ruler. Ukrainian authorities have also stepped up a campaign to rename streets and settlements, as well as remove statues and monuments tied to the Tsarist and Soviet past.
Росія, вона сама нищить свою спадщину в Україні.
Alexander told Reuters, quote, "Russia, by its own actions, is destroying its heritage in Ukraine. Our young country is being reborn by going through this agony caused by Russia. And now, on December 25th, the country's rebirth will start with new holidays."
A peaceful protest in the Serbian capital spiraled into clashes with riot police. Thousands gathered in opposition to the ruling Serbian Progressive Party, expressing discontent following the party's landslide victory in recent parliamentary elections. Eyewitnesses reported the police using pepper spray as tensions escalated outside Belgrade's City Hall, where protesters attempted to breach the premises housing the local election commission. Some demonstrators scaled the building, shattering windows in a show of defiance. The SNS secured 46.72% of the vote in the snap elections, as confirmed by preliminary results from the State Election Commission. The situation remains tense as both protesters and the authorities navigate this turbulent aftermath. Initial results from the Democratic Republic of Congo's presidential election are emerging with accusations of rigging. The incumbent president, Felix Tshisekedi, is leading based on votes from Congolese living overseas. Main challengers include Moise Katumbi, Martin Fayulu, and Nobel Peace Prize winner Dr. Denis Mukwege. Results from the 44 million voters in the country were released starting Saturday. Logistical challenges, including late start times and delays in delivering materials, impacted the polling. The Electoral Commission has extended voting to accommodate all eligible voters. The election's aftermath has prompted 13 embassies, including those of Germany and France, to release a joint statement urging restraint. Foreign election observers from the Carter Center call for increased transparency as the vote counting process continues. Some opposition candidates are calling for a rerun amid election disputes. Other opposition candidates have planned a joint protest next week. Delays during the election day and alleged irregularities have raised concerns, with provisional results expected by the 31st of December. The president-elect will be sworn in on the 20th of January next year. European Union Foreign Policy Chief Josep Borrell has expressed deep concern about the upcoming June elections for the European Parliament. Borrell fears that voters may be influenced by conflicts such as those in Russia and Ukraine and Israel and Gaza, leading them to support right-wing populist parties. Stressing the election's critical nature, Borrell urged an informed electorate, expressing particular concern about the conflict's impact on the future of the European Union. He emphasized the need for a swift change in Ukraine and expressed doubts that Russian President Vladimir Putin had any willingness to halt his actions. Borrell highlighted the election's significance, paralleling them with the US presidential race. Southern Mexico's Tapachula witnessed a mass migration as thousands set out for the US. Sunday saw a hopeful departure of thousands from this place in southern Mexico, aiming to reach the United States. Amongst the leaders were migrants bearing a cross, the Mexican flag, and a poignant banner reading "Poverty Exodus." The caravan represents individuals like Jose Santos from Honduras, a former security guard. Fleeing threats of violence from MS-13 gang members back home, Santos is seeking refuge in the United States. A plane with 303 passengers, mostly Indians, is set to depart for India after being detained by French authorities at a nearby airport over suspected human trafficking. The Nicaragua-bound flight originated from Dubai was grounded at Vatry Airport, 150 kilometers from Paris, over trafficking concerns. The French authorities then permitted the A340 aircraft operated by a Romanian company, Legend Airlines, to resume its journey. Expected to depart around 10 a.m. local time, the plane is likely heading to Mumbai in India, the passengers' home country. Around 200 to 250 passengers, excluding those in police custody or seeking asylum, are anticipated to leave. As per estimates, nearly 50 passengers have reportedly filed for asylum. Despite the allegations, the airline's lawyer denied involvement in trafficking, affirming cooperation with investigators and potential claims for damages due to reputational harm. The flight, including 11 unaccompanied minors, faced extended detention for 2 passengers. Investigations revealed that a partner company responsible for verifying passenger documents transmitted passport information to the airline prior to the flight. While suspicions suggested the passengers planned to reach Central America to potentially enter the US or Canada illegally, an anonymous tip alerted the authorities about possible human trafficking. Human trafficking carries severe penalties in France, with a potential sentence of up to 20 years in jail. All right. In other news, India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar is on a 4-day visit to Russia starting today as part of the ongoing high-level exchanges between the two countries. During the visit, the Foreign Minister will hold discussions with the Deputy Prime Minister and Industry and Trade Minister of Russia. The two leaders will address various matters pertaining to the economy. Jaishankar will also meet with his Russian counterpart, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, to discuss bilateral, multilateral and multiple international issues. The visit will emphasize the strong people-to-people and cultural ties between India and Russia, with engagements planned in Moscow and St. Petersburg. It underscores the stability and resilience of the India-Russia partnership, characterized by the special and privileged strategic partnership. That's what a press release issued by India's Ministry of External Affairs has said. Various aspects of bilateral ties, focusing on trade, energy, defense and connectivity, are expected to be addressed, as the annual India-Russia Leaders Summit has been deferred this year. All right, let's now get you the latest on the recent surge in terror incidents in Jammu and Kashmir. Army Chief General Manoj Pandey is in Rajouri, Poonch area today to discuss the recent and ongoing counter-terrorist operations. He will review the security situation with sector commanders. Security forces are continuing their hunt for terrorists in the region. A team of officials from the National Investigation Agency are also carrying out operations. A search operation for the terrorists has been going on since the 21st of December after a terror attack on 2 army trucks claimed the lives of 4 army personnel and left another 3 injured. Local inputs suggest terror organization PAFF is active in the Rajouri area of Jammu. PAFF is another name for Jaish-e-Mohammed and has been involved in most of the terror attacks in the Rajouri Poonch sector in recent times. Also, funds for PAFF, sources suggest, are being arranged by the Pakistan Army and the ISI. Meanwhile, a search operation continues in Baramulla, where retired Senior Superintendent of Police Muhammad Shafi Mir was shot dead while he was offering prayers at a local mosque. Time for another quick break here on the show, but there's more on the other side. Stay with us.
Bangalore traffic is an example of something that has gone wrong with our system.
We have more than 50 flyovers in Bangalore city. If flyover is a solution to traffic problem, Bangalore should not have traffic problem.
According to TomTom Traffic Index 2022, Bangalore is ranked as the 2nd worst city in the world when it comes to traffic.
The speed limit at the ORR is 80 kilometers per hour, but our vehicle has only moved 10 kilometers per hour.
What Bangalore needs is a surgery, but what we have been offered repeatedly are band-aids.
Only on the world's first news OTT. News9 Plus, ahead of the curve.
Since the last 2 years, Khalistani terror groups are threatening Indian diplomats in Canada, US, UK and Australia. Investigations of these threats led us to the first ever abduction and killing of an Indian diplomat, Ravindra Matre, in UK's Birmingham in 1984. Our months-long investigation finally led us to the murderer of Ravindra Matre, who has been hiding in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir for the last 40 years. Watch our exclusive documentary, Murder of an Indian Diplomat, where we reveal the man who killed Ravindra Matre.
Stop searching, start streaming. Download the world's first news OTT, News9 Plus, ahead of the curve.
जब हम करेंगे तो पता लग ही जाएगा सलमान खान का करेंगे मारेंगे या जोधपुर में मारेंगे तो पता लग जाएगा
This is someone who is sitting inside our jails and is still very obviously and openly running and possibly the largest organized criminal operation in the country.
Student organization of Punjab University में सोपूगा acting president type भी रहा है.
He was a troublemaker, getting into fights with people, not coming to the class.
As on date, it appears that Lawrence gang is the most important, the prominent gang. Gangs here in Punjab, they are intimidated.
Today, he's India's most dangerous gangster, and India's presence but apparently no bar to how Bishnoi runs India's largest criminal empire.
News is now content. Just stream it. Download the world's first news OTT, News9 Plus, ahead of the curve.
Welcome back. The Tamil Nadu police have registered a case against 15 Enforcement Directorate officials for allegedly preventing the Directorate of Vigilance and Anti-Corruption officers from discharging their duties during an investigation into the Ankit Tiwari case. Earlier, the DVAC had caught Ankit Tiwari, enforcement officer of the ED, red-handed while allegedly receiving a bribe of 20 lakh rupees. After the arrest of Tiwari, the DVAC officers carried out searches at the official premises of Ankit Tiwari in the Madurai Zonal Office of the Enforcement Directorate. DVAC officer, in his complaint to the Tamil Nadu police, has alleged that 15 ED officers, including an assistant director rank officer, stopped them from carrying out searches at Tiwari's office premises, thereby preventing them from discharging their official duties and interfering in the investigation. Ankit Tiwari, a member of the 2016 batch of officers, has a background of prior service in the states of Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh and was caught red-handed while allegedly accepting a bribe of 20 lakh rupees from a doctor in Tamil Nadu's Dindigul district in December. Ankit Tiwari was produced before a judicial magistrate and sent to 15 days judicial custody. In a controversial turn of events, a 2019 speech by DMK MP Dayanidhi Maran has resurfaced, sparking outrage over remarks about people from Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. Maran had suggested that those from the states of Bihar and Uttar Pradesh end up doing menial jobs in Tamil Nadu. The BJP and the ruling RJD in Bihar, part of the India Alliance, alongside the DMK, have condemned Maran's comments, saying they're inappropriate for a leader advocating social justice. The controversy centers around a 24-second video clip of Maran's speech made in 2019, which went viral on the social media. Maran, during the speech commemorating DMK patriarch M. Karunanidhi, discussed the party's anti-Hindi imposition stance and emphasized the importance of learning English along with Tamil. The BJP has criticized leaders of the opposition alliance for consistently making disparaging remarks about northern states.
कुछ लोग टॉयलेट साफ करने का काम करते, कुछ गंदगी फैलाने का काम करते, तो दयानिधि मारन जैसे लोग गंदगी फैलाने का काम करते। देश को तय करना है कि गंदगी फैलाने वाले लोग चाहिए या गंदगी साफ करने वाले।
भारतीय जनता पार्टी एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत के लिए माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के मार्गदर्शन में काम करती है और जब इस प्रकार की जो भाषा बोलते हैं मैं उसकी निंदा करता हूं, लेकिन इसका जवाब श्री राहुल गांधी जी को देना चाहिए, श्री अखिलेश यादव जी को देना चाहिए और जो ऐसी पार्टियों से अपने रिश्ते रखते हैं और उत्तर भारत में राजनीतिक सफलता की आस भी रखते हैं, इसका जवाब उनको देना चाहिए। हमारे लिए उत्तर हो, दक्षिण हो, पूरब हो, पश्चिम हो, सारा भारत एक है, सारे भारतवासी एक हैं और देश की प्रगति में सबके सहयोग की अपेक्षा रहती है और इस प्रकार के जहरीले बयानों के लिए अब देश में कोई आसान नहीं है। इस प्रकार के बयानों से किसी को कोई राजनीतिक लाभ नहीं मिलने वाला है। इसीलिए भारतीय जनता पार्टी दिन दूना रात चौगुना बढ़ रही है और जो बहुत इस प्रकार की क्षुद्र मानसिकता की राजनीति करते हैं और उनका एकदम पतन हो रहा है, उनका जनता स्वयं सफाया कर रही है और आने वाले समय में हिंदुस्तान के हर राज्य में कमल का फूल दिखेगा।
देखिए, नीतीश कुमार और लालू यादव को चुप्पी तोड़नी चाहिए और इंडी गठबंधन से डीएमके को बाहर निकाल करना चाहिए। ये कोई पहली बार बयान नहीं दिया है। ठीक है आपने कि सनातन धर्म को जिस तरह से गालियाँ दी गई और बिहार के लोगों को, हिंदी भाषियों को लगातार गालियां दी जा रही है। देखिए, जो तेलंगाना का चुनाव हुआ, उस तेलंगाना के चुनाव के बाद ये उत्तर दक्षिण का विवाद पैदा करना चाहते हैं। इनको लगता है कर्नाटक में चुनाव जीत गए, केरल में उनकी सरकार है।
The resurfaced speech has reignited debates on language politics and accusations of playing the divide and rule card, with the BJP suggesting that the India bloc parties are once again attempting to exploit regional differences for political gains.
देखो, ये सारे लोग चुनाव आते ही इन सब लोगों पर भूत सवार होता है
ये लोग देश को तोड़ने वाले बयान देते हैं, देश तोड़क बयान। हमारे लिए चाहे वो अंग्रेजी हो या हिंदी बोलने वाले, हम लोगों ने सबको महत्व दिया है और हिंदी हमारी राष्ट्रभाषा है, हिंदी हमारी जननी है। आज मुझे खुशी है कि इसी प्रयागराज के इलाहाबाद हाई कोर्ट प्रयागराज के हाई कोर्ट के एक जस्टिस थे जिन्होंने आज से 2500 साल पहले 30 साल पहले उन्होंने सारे जजमेंट हिंदी में दिए थे। ये कौन सी बात है? हिंदी तो हमारी राष्ट्रभाषा है, हम सभी भाषाओं का सम्मान करते हैं। हमारे लिए तमिल, हमारे लिए तेलुगु, सब प्रकार के भाषा को सीखना चाहिए, बोलना चाहिए, जो भारत में बोली जाती है हर लोग सीखें। और हिंदी राष्ट्रभाषा के रूप में, हमारा राज्य भाषा के रूप में जो हिंदी राजभाषा है, इसका सम्मान करें। और ये कह करके कि अंग्रेजी बोलने वाले और हिंदी बोलने वाले झाड़ू लगाते हैं और अंग्रेजी बोलने आईटी जाते हैं, ये विकृत मानसिकता का परिचायक है। अंग्रेजी चले गए, अंग्रेजी का गुलामी जो है आज भी इन अंग्रेजों का मानसिकता इनके माथे पर छाया हुआ है।
656 new cases of COVID have been reported in the last 24 hours across India, bringing the total active cases to 4,054 according to the Union Health Ministry. Additionally, one death has been reported in Kerala. A total of 63 JN1 COVID variant cases have been reported in the country till the 24th of December. 34 in Goa, 9 in Maharashtra, 8 in Karnataka, 6 in Kerala, 4 in Tamil Nadu and 2 in Telangana. The World Health Organization is urging Southeast Asian countries, including India, to step up surveillance and protective measures due to the emergence of the JN1 subvariant. Dr. Poonam Khetrapal Singh, WHO's regional director, has emphasized on the need for strengthened surveillance, sequencing and data sharing. Despite the low current risk of JN1, precautions are crucial, especially during the holiday season. Vaccination remains crucial, with approved vaccines protecting against severe outcomes, including JN1. Dr. N.K. Arora from INSACOG has highlighted that no extra vaccine dose is currently needed for protection against JN1. The surge in cases led to increased testing, with Thane, Odisha and Maharashtra reporting instances of the JN1 subvariant. Health experts have reassured that despite its high transmissibility, JN1 is not causing severe infections or hospitalizations. Authorities in Mizoram have urged adherence to COVID norms during festive season. Union Minister Shripad Naik has reassured the citizens and the tourism industry that there is no need to panic, citing the country's successful past efforts in combating the virus. Maharashtra is preparing with ventilators and oxygen cylinders in light of 50 new cases being reported, 9 of those caused by JN1 subvariant. Kerala has reported 128 new cases, and Mizoram has also put in place measures asking people to adopt appropriate behavior during the festive season. Bihar has directed increased RT-PCR testing at airports. Delhi NCR continues to grapple with severe air pollution marked by air quality index exceeding 400 as reported by the Central Pollution Control Board. Despite the enforcement of GRAP 3 regulations last Friday, the air quality in Delhi remains hazardous. The overall AQI level in Delhi at 6 am today was measured at 401, indicating a critical category. The persistently poor air quality has led to health issues for residents, including burning eyes, respiratory discomfort and throat irritation. Urgent measures are required as the air pollution has triggered the third consecutive day of the AQI exceeding 400. The situation is prompting authorities to implement more severe restrictions, including a ban on certain types of vehicles and construction activities to curb pollution levels. Following the latest measures, non-essential construction work is now prohibited in the Delhi National Capital Region. Under the GRAP, the Commission has also restricted the use of BS3 petrol and BS4 diesel four-wheelers in Delhi and surrounding areas. Governments are instructed to enforce these restrictions. The Central Commission has attributed the decline in air quality to unfavorable met conditions, including fog and haze with low wind speeds. The Sports Ministry, after suspending the Wrestling Federation of India, has urged the Indian Olympic Association to form an ad hoc committee for governance. The letter from the Under-Secretary to the Government of India has emphasized the need for corrective measures before the elections were held. The WFI was run by an ad hoc body formed by IOA after former President Brij Bhushan was forced to step aside following serious allegations of sexual harassment. The suspension followed the Wrestling Federation's hasty announcement of organising under 15 and under 20 nationals. In an official release, the Sports Ministry said the announcement for the national competitions was hasty and due process had not been followed. The Sports Ministry has detailed that the announcement by Sanjay Singh, the new WFI president, was against the rules as a minimum of 15-day notice was needed for wrestlers to prepare. Following Sanjay Singh's election as the WFI president, Sakshi Malik resigned from wrestling in protest against Bajrang Punia, returning his Padma Shri as well in solidarity.
उसमें जो कारण दिया गया, एक तो दिया गया है कि 60 टर्म में आपने अंडर 15 और अंडर 20 नेशनल का घोषणा किया। दूसरा रीजन दिया गया है कि ऑफिस आप उसी पुरानी जगह से चला रहे हैं। तीसरा दिया गया कि नंदिनी नगर में आपने क्यों दिया, और चौथा दिया गया कि ये डिसीजन, उस डिसीजन में लोचब नहीं मौजूद थे। ये 4 डिसीजन दिया गया है, मतलब 4 कारण दिया गया है। उसका रीजन ये था कि 25 यूनिट इलेक्शन में जुटी वहां इकट्ठा हुई थी। उसके बाद हम लोगों ने एक मीटिंग लिया वहीं पे, इलेक्शन के बाद फिर वही मीटिंग को एडजर्न करके इलेक्शन के बाद सारे लोगों की एक मीटिंग हुई, जिसमें यह निर्णय लिया गया कि यह इसी कैलेंडर ईयर में करा दिया जाए, जिससे कि बच्चों का साल न बर्बाद होने पाए। समय कम था, उसके लिए सारे लोगों ने समर्थता जाहिर किया। इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर नंदिनी गोंडा में था जहां की 2 नेशनल एक साथ कराया जा सके, इसलिए वहां पे नेशनल सबकी सहमति से अलॉट किया गया। सारी स्टेट फेडरेशन की सहमति दिया, तब जाकर के वहां अलॉट किया गया।
फेडरेशन का नेक्स्ट मूव क्या होगा इस फैसले के खिलाफ? क्या
नेक्स्ट मूव है, अभी हम लोग जाकर के सरकार से बात करेंगे, मोदी जी से बात करेंगे, खेल मंत्री से बात करेंगे, क्योंकि बच्चों का भविष्य खराब हो रहा है।
नई फेडरेशन जो हुई है उसी दिन उनकी विदाई कर दी थी 21 तारीख को ही, और आज उन्होंने अपना बता भी दिया कि हमने कुश्ती से संन्यास ले लिया है। साक्षी मलिक ने भी कुश्ती से संन्यास ले लिया है। तो दोनों जो जिसके ऊपर आरोप लगा था, जिसने आरोप लगाया था, दोनों लोग संन्यास ले लिए। तो अब दोनों लोग शांति से नई फेडरेशन को चलने दें, बच्चों का भविष्य अच्छा होने दें, जिससे कुश्ती जो रुकी हुई है, कुश्ती की एक्टिविटी आगे बढ़े। बार बार कुछ नेशनल होना होता है तब तक एक्टिविटी रोक दी जाती है। रह गए उनके नहीं रिश्तेदार की बात जो उन्होंने कहा है, वो क्षत्रिय समाज से आते हैं, मैं भूमिहार समाज से आता हूं, तो मैं उनका रिश्तेदार कहां से हो जाऊंगा? करीबी का जो आरोप लग रहा है, मैं भी उसी फेडरेशन में ज्वाइंट सेक्रेटरी था और वो प्रेसिडेंट थे। तो एक प्रेसिडेंट और ज्वाइंट सेक्रेटरी के बीच में रिश्ता रहता है कि नहीं रहता है? दोस्ती का रिश्ता होता है, बातचीत का रिश्ता होता है। ये तो रिश्ता था उनसे। अब अच्छा हुआ कि बुरा हुआ, अब जो बच्चे इस साल सर्टिफिकेट नहीं पाएंगे, जाके उन जूनियर बच्चों का आप इंटरव्यू ले लीजिए, उनसे पूछ लीजिए कि अच्छा हुआ है या बुरा हुआ है। ये वो बताएंगे कि अच्छा हुआ है कि बुरा हुआ है। चलती हुई कुश्ती को रोक देना, निर्धारित कुश्ती को रोक देना, कुश्ती में राजनीति ना आए ना, खेल को खेल की तरह रखा जाए। खेल मंत्रालय ने भी कुछ कंफ्यूजन में डिसीजन ले लिया है। बच्चों का भविष्य तो इस साल का तो खत्म हो गया। अंडर 15 और अंडर 20 के बच्चों का तो इस साल का सर्टिफिकेट गया, इस कैलेंडर ईयर का। अब इसके लिए यही चीज जाके हम उनसे बात करें कि आगे कुश्ती सुचारू रूप से चल सके, जिससे कि बच्चों का भविष्य अच्छा हो। अगर मंत्रालय हमारी बात को नहीं सुनेगा तो लीगल ओपिनियन भी लिया जाएगा। सेकंड ऑप्शन लीगल ओपिनियन का है।
BJP strategists are anticipating the opposition leveraging the the Wrestling Federation of India issue in the Lok Sabha elections next year. The controversy involves sexual harassment allegations against Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh, who is both WFI president and is an MP from Kesarganj belonging to the BJP. The BJP fears a negative impact on India's image in international sports and potential political exploitation by the opposition in the upcoming elections. Congress President Malik has openly contested the comments made by Vice President and Chairperson of the Rajya Sabha, Jagdeep Dhankar, in a letter to the Vice President about their Christmas meeting. Kharge has said the mass suspension of MPs during Parliament's winter session was not a spontaneous reaction, but a premeditated move by the government. Kharge has stressed that the government has weaponized the suspension of MPs to undermine democracy and sabotage parliamentary practices. While acknowledging Dhankar's invitation, Kharge mentioned his absence from Delhi and proposed a meeting upon his return to the national capital. He conveyed his willingness to meet with the Vice President at the earliest. Additionally, Kharge echoed Dhankar's proposal to address post-winter session issues. He said the key to remaining faithful to the Constitution, Parliament and democratic principles. Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar has lashed out at Mallikarjun Kharge and Sharad Pawar, saying there is no leader who can come close to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He has emphasized there is no one who can provide the kind of leadership that Prime Minister Modi does. Reacting to reports of Mallikarjun Kharge being portrayed as the prime ministerial face by the India Alliance, Junior Pawar said, compare Kharge and Prime Minister Modi. Who will Indian citizens vote for? He added, India's name is now recognized globally thanks to the Prime Minister's continuous efforts. In the vibrant city of Ayodhya, Uttar Pradesh, preparations for the grand inauguration of the Ram Temple are in full swing. Dedicated workers are meticulously cleaning marbles and stones, ensuring the construction materials reflect the sanctity and grandeur of the temple. Simultaneously, Ayodhya is hosting an awe-inspiring exhibition showcasing meticulously crafted idols of gods, all made from clay. This event not only celebrates the rich tradition of artistic craftsmanship, but also adds a spiritual dimension to the atmosphere, resonating with the impending inauguration of the Ram Temple. The city is adorned with creativity as skilled artists paint mesmerizing depictions of gods on the walls. These intricate paintings serve as a visual tribute to the divine, creating a captivating ambience that echoes the cultural and religious significance of Ayodhya just before the historic moment of the Ram Temple inauguration on the 22nd of January. Visuals have also come in of the newly redeveloped Ayodhya railway station ahead of the grand consecration ceremony of the Ram Temple, which, as we said, is slated to be held on the 22nd of January. Christmas merriment has engulfed India, and citizens across the states are celebrating the festival in their own unique ways. Let's take a look at how India is celebrating Christmas. Despite the cold wave and rising air pollution, Delhi saw several mass prayers taking place across the national capital. Moving on to Maharashtra, several parts of the state, including Mumbai and Pune, were adorned with Christmas decorations, with mass prayers, celebrations and parades being held at several churches. Mass prayers have also been held across churches in Tamil Nadu's various districts and cities, including in capital Chennai. The churches have been decked up in bright lights and Christmas decor as churchgoers thronged in large numbers to attend Christmas prayers. In Puducherry, Christmas has been celebrated with many temples too decorated with lamps. Former Chief Minister Narayan Swamy participated in the worship and greeted everyone on the occasion. Christmas celebrations have been in full swing in Madhya Pradesh as well. Many parts of Gujarat, Kerala, West Bengal, Andhra Pradesh, Bangalore, Goa, Meghalaya, Andhra, Rajasthan are also celebrating the day commemorating Jesus Christ with parades, mass prayers and stunning decor enthralling those in attendance. Like most parts of India, Odisha too is celebrating Christmas with fervour. And it was Sudarshan Patnaik's sand artwork that took the cake, as always. Sand artist Sudarshan Patnaik revealed an extraordinary sand sculpture at Odisha's Puri beach, showcasing a reclining Santa Claus, and incorporated a surprising 2,000 kilos of onions. Inspired by climate change concerns, Patnaik proudly declared it as the world's largest and likely the only onion and sand sculpture of Father Christmas, with dimensions of 100 feet in length, 20 feet in height and 40 feet in width. Chief Justice of India, Justice Diva Chandrachud, was also seen celebrating Christmas and singing Christmas carols as well. With that, it's a wrap on the show. Thanks so much for watching, and here's wishing all of you a Merry Christmas.
The scale of the attack was something that we were surprised at. The elite, it was a kind of, we were called a joint venture of the elite.